Hey Nathan, it's Monday, August 18th. So the internet is awesome. We all know that. But I was thinking about it specifically today though because of how it can answer questions for me that I never thought I'd really get the answers to. You know when you're a kid growing up and your mind is constantly coming up with questions about everything? I mean, sometimes they're a relevant observation, you know, about, say, traffic lights and signs for instance. But a lot of the time, they're just questions about the universe and every aspect to it. Well, you can find the answers to a lot of those questions on the internet. The internet is a continuously building accessible resource that is an excellent tool as long as you search wisely. I always take my answers with a grain of salt and cross-verify with other web pages just in case to make sure that I'm getting the correct information. With that being said, today I've compiled a list of questions that may not be the most practical but are interesting nonetheless. These questions are totally random, but definitely something I would have come up with as a child. First question! How many stars are there in the sky? Now this question needs a little clarification. I'm not asking how many stars there are total in existence, or even how many stars we can see from Earth with the aid of a telescope, but actually how many stars can we see with the naked eye? And that number is around 2,500. On a clear night, with no light pollution, or other kinds of pollution. So depending on where you live, you might not see like any stars at night. Here's a map of the Earth's nightly light pollution. Just go to one of those dark places and you can see all the stars! Or I mean, like, all the 2,500 stars! Technically from the Earth, a total of 5,000 stars are possible to be seen, but the horizon blocks half of the sky, which is why only 2,500 are visible at one time. It's still crazy to me thinking about that number because our galaxy alone is estimated to have around 100 to 400 billion stars. So those 5,000 stars should feel pretty special to be on display for possibly the only world in the galaxy or maybe even the universe that has conscious beings who can observe them. Second question! What is the largest animal to have ever lived? Well, Bender aside, it's the blue whale. Now I love the answer to this question. I've known it for a while, but it just makes our time period seem more special. I love that throughout the entire history of life on Earth, the largest animal ever to have lived is living right now. Even if it isn't quite thriving. Wah, wah. Thankfully, the killing of blue whales has lessened somewhat in the past 60 years, and hopefully us dumb old humans can keep up with the whole not unnecessarily killing off species thing. Third question! How many hairs do we have on our head? Well, let's start counting, I guess. 1. Haha, just kidding, I googled it. I found the answer to this question quite interesting because it actually depends on your hair color. I would have thought it would depend on its thickness if it were dependent upon anything. But apparently the average is around 110,000. Redheads have the least, which obviously can't have a lot of hair if you don't got no soul. They have around 90,000. Blondes actually have the most, with at most around 140,000, and people with light to dark brown hair have somewhere in between those numbers. What are some random questions you had as a child or even as a curious adult? Leave a comment about it below and Nathan will see you on Wednesday.